Hello there and welcome back to another news video. They have now decided to reveal the result of the poll they've made regarding the new economy system, as in if the player base would like to either take the new rank-based one or just keep the one current economy system based on the vehicle efficiency, which causes vehicles like the B-29 to cost way past 30,000 silver lines in repair, etc. And as you can see here, the overwhelming majority by a lot, like over 3/4, have in fact voted in favor of the rank-based economy, which I think is really good because I've looked at it. Here we have a very detailed table. And I'm not gonna go over everything, but let's see, the B-29 as example should be here. It should be. Yeah, here, B-18, B-25, B-29, okay, here. This line. So, essentially, its repair cost is going down by over 20,000 in realistic. Actually, making that thing usable, it goes down by over 13,000 in arcade. Its reward multiplier, uh, not multiplier, well, modifier also goes down due to its position in the tech tree, and the repair cost is still high, like 15,000 is still quite a lot. But it is not nearly as crippling as the 30, or actually 36,000 if we round it up. And I believe the 0.1 it loses in realistic is really a non-issue here. And other vehicles are affected by this as well. If we look for the Ferdinand, right here, I believe it's very similar here. Yep, its repair cost goes down by almost 10,000 in realistic, because it had a repair cost in realistic of 16,600, in simulator of 17,310, and it goes down to 6,820 and 9,690 respectively. And its modifier isn't really going down that much. At least now, as soon as you actually do something, you're not just in crippling debt. Because, of 16,000, I believe you get 2,100 per kill. Although this is mostly speculation, I'm not entirely sure how much you actually get per kill. I just believe to remember it's in the 2000s. So you can think up yourself what you have to do just to, pay off. So I can perfectly understand why the community has made this choice because, well, I've voted for that as well. There are also vehicles that generally benefit from it as a lot. A good example, I believe, if I remember correctly, is the mouse. Its arcade cost stays the same. It goes down a little in realistic, and it goes down by a lot. And I mean a lot in simulator by about 12,000. Its reward modifier drops in all modes, aside of simulator, where it's actually increased massively from 1.4 to just a flat 2. Meanwhile, in the other modes, it just loses a 0.1. There are some extreme examples of vehicles that lose a lot, or that have modifiers that go down quite strongly, like the VT12. It loses a modifier of 0.4. But overall, looking through the modifiers and especially on the repair cost, this seems to be an entirely positive thing. And I believe that is a step in the correct direction on Gaijin's side. And it seems that I'm not the only one having this opinion, considering, well, majority voted for that. I've already explained how this works in the other video, and there's nothing new to it. Essentially, how much a vehicle costs and its reward modifier depend entirely on its rank and the position in the tech tree in relation to other vehicles. So that, however, can mean that the very same vehicle in different tech trees has some differences in its cost and its modifiers, because it's the position in the tree that decides the modifier and cost of the vehicle, and not just some arbitrary efficiency stats that snowball until a vehicle is just not usable anymore. So that's really nice. And here they say the following: taking into account all of the above points, we have prepared the updated tables and changes to the reward multipliers, repair costs, and related economic parameters. The listed changes will be applied by the release of the economy update planned on the 3rd of February. So this entire thing will be implemented tomorrow. This very table here, right? Detailed one, and there's also a short one. Explaining how the modifiers change on average and how the modifiers and repair costs change in detail. If you're interested in checking out specific vehicles, I put it into the description so you can do that yourself. So I think this is a really good change. Quite surprising because it was spearheaded by the community, which is, questionable at times. And this is the odd one. The odd article to this, where they go over the positives and negatives of the respective models, etc. And one thing that I'm very certain is new is this, and I hate this: changes in the research trees. M1A1 Abrams and IPM1 switch places, which, alright, sure, I don't care. The Panzer IV F2 and Panzer IV G have been grouped. Fair enough. I don't see why you wouldn't do that. The Panzer IV H and the Panzer IV J in one group have been moved to rank 2. I absolutely despise this. Like, why? In Arcade, if I'm not mistaken, these tanks are 4.7. Now you have 4.7 tanks at rank 2. Meanwhile, for events, you can use 2.7 aircraft because those are already at rank 3. The biggest problem with this is the Panzer IV H is a really good vehicle that I also tend to take up into higher matches. In fact, despite playing exclusively realistic and simulator, I do in fact take the Panzer H4 all the way up to, I believe, 5.0 lineups. Of course, starting with 5.3, I'm not taking the Panzer IV anymore, simply because I have a Panther, etc. as my choices. But it's a really good tank, and I really enjoyed playing it. This was one of the few tanks that from the very start, in absolute stock condition, was an incredible amount of fun to play, and I occasionally come back for events. No, I don't have the problem with the research anymore, because even at rank 3 there isn't really anything I can effectively research because I'm researching rank 5 stuff, etc. But this makes it impossible to use it for events. And that is incredibly disappointing, and I don't understand why. It just doesn't make sense. They are very solid 4.0 vehicles. They used to be 4.3, or at least the H used to be. The Panzerbefehlswagen 4, which they are not going to move, literally a Panzer IV-J, is going to stay at rank 3. So if you want to use a Panzer IV, in any event you're going to have to buy a premium one, and I think that is bullshit. Of course, the general economy change, I will repeat that, is a very good change on Gaijin's part, in my opinion, but this is just an absolute garbage change that I have zero understanding for. Like, I already don't understand why the Stuck 3G, as example, is ranked 2. I think the tree in general would benefit from it being at rank 3. But this also being moved to, but that at least always was at rank 2, right? Although the Italian for some reasons has rank 3, which is absolute bullshit. But yeah, now they moved these to rank 2, and I don't see why. It just doesn't really seem to serve a purpose. Now all the Panzer IVs range from rank 1 to 2. I think that sucks. I think I've concentrated on the specific change a bit too much here, but I really want to put emphasis on how unhappy I am with this change. Like, this could have been one of the best small updates they have done in like ever. And then they just fucking kick my kneecap out of that. Like, they just can't make an update you you don't have anything to complain about, right? If they didn't do this, there would have literally nothing in this to complain about from my perspective. But with that, there's no one that's not going to complain. You had about 23% that voted against it that would, just complain about it in general because they didn't want this change. And pretty much everyone that plays the German tech tree is probably going to be not happy with this. Most people at least will probably not understand why they've done it. I at least, or you know what, I put it like this. I can't imagine anyone actively supporting this change. It just, I don't know, that's fucked. But yeah, they also switched the Tarm and Begleitpanzer 57. They also switched to Crusader AAs. They also changed the position of the Shiha Kai and Hoi. The IKV, IKV, sorry. 103 has been moved to rank 3. I don't know where it has been. If it was at rank 2, then I'm just going to shit into an envelope and send it to Gaijin quarters. The JU 88C6 has been moved to rank 2. I think it was rank 1. Could have been rank 3. It's not a plane I'm really using. I was kind of flying it for fun like ages ago, but it's just meh. The BF 1010 C7 and BF 1010 F2 have been grouped, which I see no issue with. And the TO4s have all been moved to rank 5. So I think they've been moved up in a rank. And the F104G has been moved to rank 7. Probably from rank 6. Definitely from rank 6 because there's no rank 8. So yeah. In general, I highly support the new economy system that they implemented, and again, I will put this table into the description. Same for these two. I am gonna put all these 3 links into the description. I'm very curious to know what your opinion is. Again, to give a short summary of my opinion, I think the economy update in general is great, and I think it will be great once it's completely implemented. I don't think it will in any sort of or way worsen the playing experience and in fact improve it. I am absolutely seething over the fact that they moved the Panzer IV H and J into rank 2. That is just, I don't fucking understand why. They just made some of my favorite tanks completely unusable for the battle pass, for the summer and winter events, etc. That's just, I don't fucking know. Anyways, tell me your opinion on all of this and like the economy update and maybe what you think of the Panzer IV being moved. Maybe you have a good explanation for that. In the comments, and otherwise I don't really have anything left to say. Thank you for listening to me, and see you for the next news, review, or whatever. So see you then. Goodbye.